I would now like to thank Mr. Khalid Mirza, former chairman SECP, for gracing us with his presence today. Mr. Mirza has served in several key positions throughout his career, including chairman of Securities and Exchange Commission of Pakistan, chairman and CEO of the Competition Commission of Pakistan and Monopoly Control Authority of Pakistan, member Competition Appellate Tribunal, manager financial and private sector development in East Asia and Pacific for the World Bank, and senior roles for the International Finance Corporation focused on emerging markets. He has served on several corporate board seats and advisory positions and is presently teaching as a professor at the Lahore University of Management Sciences. I would request Mr. Mirza to please come up on the stage to deliver his address.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Mr. President, members of the CFA Society, ladies and gentlemen, it is indeed a great pleasure for me and a privilege to be present here today. I vividly remember being present at the launch of the society in 2002, when I was honored to be among those who shared the podium with the then Finance Minister, Mr. Shaukat Aziz. And I feel equally honored today to have been graciously invited to speak on this occasion alongside a number of luminaries, including, importantly, my respected senior, Dr. Ishrat Hussain, the former governor, and Dr. Miftah Ismail, who was very recently finance minister, and who I greatly admire for the tough decisions he took in an attempt to get the country out of the economic quagmire in which it is. The situation at the launch of the association in 2002 was somewhat quite different. One could perhaps describe the situation then to be encouraging and helpful. We had just successfully implemented a series of economic reforms on all fronts and were continuing to do so. And there was a mask of bonhomie that covered some of the persistent underlying problems which led us to believe that everything was fine and likely to get better. I recall then that Mr. Shaukat Aziz had risen to the occasion, and in keeping with the times and fully aligned with his deep-seated penchant for PR, he delivered a most remarkable speech, a kind of a feel-good speech. You know, something like, you're okay, I'm okay, everything is looking good and okay, God is in heaven and all is right with the world. Now, as you might expect, that after that morale-boosting speech, the minister's popularity, which was already quite high, soared even higher and went up several notches. He was really pleased with himself, and everyone was pleased with him. Now, that was all very well for a quasi-politician to voice such sentiments. It was understandable and acceptable within a certain frame of reference. But the problem then was that I had to speak after him, and I was a regulator. The troubling question for me was, should I be a good boy and speak in the same vein as the minister, or should I speak like a regulator? I took an on-the-spot executive decision to speak like the regulator I was. And I gave everyone present the facts of life as I saw them, including some unpleasant ones for finance professionals. And some of them didn't like what I had to say. I remember ending my speech with the words, "It is a regulator's lot to do and say what is right and to remain unpopular. Today, I don't intend to give you the facts of life. In any case, I'm now old, 77 years old, retired 4 times. I'm a has-been, and I have, for that reason, to suitably temper my remarks. However, I would like to say, I said this in 2002, and I would like to repeat it now, that is that finance professionals must not be esoteric or obscure. They have to come off their high horses and use the vast repertoire of skills which they have in the most practical, down-to-earth manner, so that whatever they say really adds value and is found useful by the business community. Rather similar to what Mahatma Gandhi said, that whatever you say must be of use at the lowest level of society. Okay? So, I remember in this connection, many years ago in London, I heard the chief accountant of BCCI, the Bengali gentleman by the name of Masur Rahman, tell a group of rather sophisticated chartered accountants, I think they were from Price Waterhouse, that he did not want any of this fancy stuff, not this netting of current assets and current liabilities and all kinds of other gimmicks which accountants had started putting in then. He said, and he would wanted accounting statements that could firstly be easily understood by Mr. Saleh Naqvi, who was number 2 in BCCI, and secondly, which Saleh Naqvi could easily explain to Agha Hassan Abidi and be understood by Agha Hassan Abidi. I'm giving a message here to finance professionals. I hope they've heard it. Okay. Coming specifically to CFAs, Chartered Financial Accountants, whatever they are, Certified Financial, whatever, CFAs, I am very pleased to have observed 2 distinguishing features that separate them from other finance professionals. I'm not here to give you mushy talk. That's not me. Okay, so if you please bear with me a little bit. Okay, first, CFAs have no sense of entitlement. Okay, they do not fight for turf or claim any exclusive or non-exclusive right to any kind of work or position in the corporate sector. I've not heard that, at least in my 20 years that I've been. In fact, my association to CFAs goes back to 1966 when I did my MCOM from Haley College of Commerce, and somebody gave me something. Here is this brochure of the CFA Society in England, in the United States, and instead of doing any other thing, why don't you do this? And I got scared. I didn't do it, to be very honest. It was too tough, looked too tough to me. Okay? Whatever a CFA seeks, and I've interviewed many, talked to many, okay, they seek it on merit and based on what they're actually capable of delivering. Second, CFAs are not risk averse. As compared to other professionals, they do not run scared of risk. That's what I've seen. They are capable of taking calculated risk and are quite comfortable with such risks. They're not really afraid of failure, and that is significant. You know, if you look at financial system in any country, it really has 2 parts to it. There are 2 pillars. One is the risk-averse part, which is the fiduciaries, the banking system, the finance companies, okay? Right? Now that, is one side. The other side is the capital market and the non-banking sector, which is the risk-taking part. They make money out of taking risk. Okay, the 2 different sides. Now, I have seen, or my observation, and correct me if I'm wrong, okay, I find that banking in Pakistan is developed of a fashion. Okay? Yes, maybe they need to be a little bit more inclusive, there need to be a little more outreach, but it is there, it's fine. There are maybe a couple of banking institutions that are not doing well, that need to be, and the state bank is obviously being very stern with them and getting them to pick up. Okay, that's a different matter. But when it comes to non-banking, okay, that is the risk-taking part of the financial system, that has not really developed. And it is there are several reasons we really need to study why that has happened. But one reason is quite obvious, and that is that ever since we started with the investment finance companies way back in the 1980s, our non-banking institutions have been mostly headed by risk-averse individuals. Because, I mean, these finance companies are sort of backdoor entrance into banking, So you got bankers, you got people like that who are really risk-averse. And, you got people who looked like financial experts or financial professionals, and they were declared fit and proper by SECP. Okay? I don't know whether SECP knew what they were doing. I really don't. Because Jeff was a banker, fine, he can head a finance company or an investment bank. He's a chartered accountant, yes, let him head he's fine, clear it. Those are not the kind of people you need. You need people from Kharadar, somebody who comes out from the real grassroots of non-banking. Then you put that person in charge and he'll do a good job. He'll also make some money. Okay? The result is our non-banking has not really developed. And we saw in East Asia, for example, where banking was developed when the crisis occurred there in, when was it, 1997, that when banking went under, this other part, which was the non-banking side, that could have taken up the slack, was not there. So this is not in Pakistan alone. It's a problem in many developing countries. So I am personally sanguine that if you employ CFAs or put CFAs in positions of responsibility in non-banking institutions, it would be better for those institutions. It would also be better for the financial system as a whole. Okay? Now, that is all. I can say a lot more, okay? But I think I won't bore you anymore with my haranguing. Okay? That is all I had to say. I have tried very hard, and I hope I have not been unpleasant or offended anyone. If I have, I apologize. Thank you very much.